to Legacy Her Way. This is it's the final episode for season 1. It has been an amazing journey. I've enjoyed this time so much. But this is the final episode of season 1. And so it has been quite the journey. You're listening to Legacy Her Way. This is the podcast where we explore how women are defining, how we're building and living our legacies on our own terms. I'm your host, Tanya Hendricks, and each week we have dove into real stories, fresh strategies, inspiring conversations to help you create a future that reflects who you are and what you value most. This podcast is about legacy, your way. And so today, in this final episode of season 1, I want to reflect on legacy. And I'm going to talk a little bit about estate planning today, but more so in terms of legacy. So this episode, as with every episode that we've had this season, is sponsored by Huntsville Estate Planning Lawyer, where we empower your vision and secure your future through estate planning and trademarks. So let's talk legacy. Her way, your way. So as I bring this season to a close, and there will be a season 2, I've already been recording and talking to some amazing women who will be featured in season 2. But as we're drawing this season to a close, I had a friend reach out recently, and she's having a procedure done soon, very scary procedure, and she is understandably fearful of what may happen. And so as an estate planning lawyer, I have people reach out to me occasionally saying, what do I need to do? Do I have things in place? And so this friend reached out and she said, Tanya, I'm having this procedure done. I'm very worried. I'm very scared. And you have looked at the will that I have. You said everything was fine. Oh, I have a few other things in place. What am I missing? What do I need to do? And so I went through the laundry list of, if she has the will in place, she has a power of attorney in place that names someone to act on her behalf. If things in the procedure go wrong and she becomes unconscious and she's not able to give consent for certain things, there is somebody who can make those decisions for her. And if things go horribly wrong and there is a situation in which she could be considered terminally ill, whereas she could be on life support, does she want to have life-sustaining treatment? Does she not want to have life-sustaining treatment? Who is that person who's going to speak on her behalf? So she has all those documents in place, and we walk through what that looks like. She has those documents in place. And then, some other things that I always walk through with clients, I walk through with her. On your bank accounts, do you have a payable on death beneficiary? Those that are not joint with your spouse, do you have a payable on death beneficiary? And then to really get kind of granular and figure out the real things, this podcast is about real life situations. So I asked her about, does your spouse or does someone else know how to run your business? Do they have the authority? Do they have your passwords? Do they know how to access things to keep your business operating if something happens to you? Do they know who to contact? Do they know who to contact for retirement, for life insurance? Think through all these things. Do they have your cell phone code? Look, y'all, your loved ones need to have your cell phone code. That code that you have to enter on your cell phone in order to access it, to see what's in, to get into your cell phone. You don't have to necessarily give it to them right now, but have it written down somewhere and let them know where can be found. That at a minimum will save your family so much time and so much stress and heartache, because if they don't have access to your cell phone, a number of things happen. Number one, when you have all those two-factor authentications that now pop up on your cell phone, they won't be able to authenticate something because they don't have your cell phone code. But they're also, if they don't have your cell phone code, they can't get access to emails and some other things that's only on your cell phone. Third, and this is where I've had so many clients and so many people come to my office upset, they can't access the cell phone and all the photos and videos on the cell phones. They lose those things possibly forever. So be sure that you write down, if your loved ones do not know your cell phone code, write it down, put it in your safe, put it somewhere where they can find us, they can get access to your cell phone. And speaking of safes, make sure you have your estate planning documents and other important documents in a safe or safe deposit box. Write down passwords, write down, everything like social media accounts, those usernames and passwords, emails, usernames and passwords, online banking, online bill pay, if you're paying utilities or mortgage or rent, all those things from your account, your online accounts. Write down those usernames and passwords so that you can get those things. I created, and if you're watching me on YouTube, you can see I'm holding up a binder that's an estate planning and a case of emergency binder. So I created some sheets that you can go online to my, I think I have them on my website, have access to them on my website, but you reach out to me if you want these. I sell these for minimal amounts. Clients get them for, certain clients get them as part of their package. But it is just it's 14 pages of everything that somebody needs to know about me. It is my name, my contact information, my veterinarian's information, my doctor's information, banking account information, online usernames and passwords, the monthly mortgage, who I pay, how it gets paid, that username and password, the utilities, all those things. If you can write those things down, those are the things that your family needs. That makes it easy on your family. If something happens to you, if you become incapacitated, you're in a bad car accident, you're in the hospital, or if you suddenly become ill and you pass away from that. So anything can happen at any time. You always need to be prepared. Even, as morbid as it may sound, you need to be prepared. You can't control when you're going to have a bad car accident. You can't control when you're going to die. You can control how your family responds to that, and how easy you make it for your family is the better way to put that. You can control how easy it is for your family, your loved ones, to go to one location to find all your documents. You can control how easy it is for your loved ones to go to the bank and access your money, or be able to pay your mortgage payment, be able to pay your rent, be able to pay the light bill, your auto insurance or your homeowner's insurance. You can control that. Whereas you can't control when you're going to become sick. You can't control when you're going to die. You can't control when you're going to have a situation where you're stuck in the hospital for a period of time. But you can control how easy you make it for your family. So take some steps now to make it easy for that, to control what you can control. So take those steps now. So as I walked this with my friend through all these different scenarios, and we were checking the boxes of things that she's done or things she needs to do, the final thing I told her was this. My final piece of advice: pick up your phone, hit the record on the camera button, and leave a message for your family. Record yourself leaving a message for your spouse, for your children, for your grandchildren. The reason is, you can do all those things, make all those things very easy for your family. And you should do that. You should make sure that your family's taken care of. You should make sure that you make it as easy as possible on them. But at the end of the day, what's going to matter more than anything to your family is being able to hit play and see your face again, or hear your voice again. When someone you love dies and you're not able to talk to them, you can't just pick up the phone and call them. You can't drive down the street and say hello and get a hug from them. But when you are able to when you are able to hear their voice again, it's like getting a hug. When my dad died in 2006, I was fortunate that prior to him dying, I'd given him a book and asked him to fill it out. It was some things about his life, growing up, watching us grow up as kids, just some different words of wisdom, different memories he had. And he also, so when he passed away, I had that. So I could read his words. I could see what he said. And he was also a poet. And we have all those poems. So we're able to see those things that he's written. We're able to see his writing. But he was also he was a preacher early on in my life. And then later on, he would just fill in every now and then and speak. We have some of those recordings. And so to be able to put in a cassette tape, that's how old it is, or a VHS tape, and hear his voice again, it's just amazing. I mean, it's like, it brings back all those memories, brings back all that love, and it's just comforting to hear that voice again. When you haven't heard that voice for so long and you're able to hear it again, it's just an amazing, incredible feeling. And I want that for my friend. I wanted that for my friend. I wanted her to be able to leave that for her spouse, for her children and grandchildren, if something happens to her. And if something doesn't happen to her, which we're believing it's not going to go badly, but so when it doesn't go badly, they're still going to have it for the future. She's still going to have those recordings that she can keep and be able to send to them at some point in the future, or have on reserve, or have on a thumb drive, so that when she does pass away years and years and years and years and years and years from now, they have that. They have these messages from her that reminds them how much she loves them, that reminds them how wonderful they are, that reminds them of just her love and her belief in them and how proud she is of them. So get your documents done for estate planning purposes. But estate planning is, for me, my view is it's a comprehensive approach. And part of that approach, because I do believe in legacy, part of that approach is leaving your legacy of your memory. It's leaving that word from you, that spark, or that video, that message, your words of wisdom, whatever it is. I mean, and you can just pick up the recorder and all you have to do is say, I love you. And that is the simple message. It takes you 30 seconds to say, dear child, or dear husband or spouse, I just want you to know I love you. Always have, always will. It takes less than 30 seconds to do that. But that is something that you can give and leave as your legacy for them forever. And they can have that forever. So even if you don't have all your paperwork, all those ducks in a row, what will matter the most in the end is a message from you. So as I told my friend, my overall concern for her and for what she needed to do was to record herself. Just record simple words. Through this podcast this season, you have heard from so many amazing women who are building their legacies. And we talked a lot about businesses. We've talked about people building their legacies through their faith or through their family, through their businesses. You've heard from, time and again, the women talk about how to set boundaries. It's okay to say no, which we all have to learn that lesson and continue to learn it and continue to practice that. And you have heard where women have talked about they built their businesses or they pivoted out of the corporate world because of faith, because they felt a passion or a calling to do something. For those with family, those with people that you love, and I hope that all of you listening have at least someone that you love dearly enough that if you were to not wake up tomorrow, they would have a hole in their heart. If you are lucky enough to have that, and I hope all of you do, that's someone you need to think about and that you need to, as you hear this, turn on that cell phone and leave a message. Because all of these women who have built incredible businesses that you've heard from this season, they will tell you that their number one priority, the number one legacy they want to leave is to their family. So those who love them and those who they love know without a doubt that those people, whether it's their children, whether it's their spouse, whether it's their siblings or parents, they know without a doubt that they were loved and cherished and that they were the priority over building a business, over writing a book, over whatever it was that they talked about doing. It all stemmed from the love they have for their family and the desire to help their family through helping the community or through helping or building a business and helping others build their businesses. It all comes back to legacy, but it all comes back to your legacy and their legacies and what it will mean to not the general public, but to their families. So I know as an estate planning lawyer, I know that people come to see me and they, I ask them, like, what are your goals with your estate plan? Why do you want to do your estate plan? I hear all the time, avoid probate and avoid taxes. I mean, that is like almost every single person. Here's the thing though, when someone says to me, I want to avoid taxes, so they're coming to see me to do their estate plans, like I want to avoid probate, I want to avoid taxes. It's not them because they're going to be dead. It's not them that's avoiding taxes or probate. It's their families. It's those who they love. And so just as those clients are coming to me saying, I want to avoid taxes, I want to avoid probate, I know that they're doing all of this on the foundation of love for their families, making things as easy as possible on their families. That's the same thing with every woman you've heard in this podcast this season. They have done things out of love, out of passion, out of a sense of helping others and making things better for others. And that's what legacy is. That's what legacy really is. And for them, I mean, yes, some of them are building businesses, but it comes back to they're not building a business just to build a business. They're building a business to make things better for those around them and for their families. So as you are thinking about your legacy, and I hope after, I think this is going to be episode 24. After 24 episodes, I hope that you are thinking about your legacy. I hope that you are thinking about how to make the world better, how to make and the world doesn't have to be the overall, the world can be your world as in your immediate family. It doesn't have to be the broader world, but your world. How do you make your world better? How do you make yourself better so that you're leaving the kind of legacy that you want to leave? Because legacy should be intentional. We can sometimes leave an unintentional legacy if we don't make plans. But you want to leave an intentional legacy with those you love. So I encourage you to think through your legacy. And as you finish this podcast, record a video to your family, to your loved ones that just says, I love you. That's it. Or maybe you need to call somebody and just call them and say, I love you. This is the end of season 1 of Legacy Her Way. Thank you all so much for hanging with me throughout this season. If you have not already, subscribe to this podcast. Leave a comment. You can, to help this podcast grow, I need you to subscribe to the podcast on either Spotify or Apple Podcast. You can post a comment. That also helps tremendously. Share episodes. If there's an episode this season that you liked in particular, share it. Let others know that you like that episode. Let others know that, hey, this is some information that I found useful. I found inspirational. You may want to check out this episode and check out this podcast. And I will say, because I did talk a little bit about estate planning, I don't want to leave this episode without saying that no representation is made, that the quality of legal services to be provided are greater than those provided by the lawyers. So again, thank you for joining me this season on Legacy Her Way. If today's conversation spoke to you, please subscribe to the podcast, share it with a friend, because we don't want you to miss an episode. We certainly don't want you to miss season 2 when season 2 launches. So this has been Legacy Her Way. Share it, subscribe it, and most of all, keep defining your legacy your way. And bye.